So hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been like a whole 5 minutes since you heard from me, probably, because I think I'm uploading these videos together. Yep, I know. The reaction this week was blocked for World Beyond. Last week it was Fear. This week it was World Beyond. Lads, I don't know what's going on at all. It's a pain in the arse, but look, if you want to watch the reaction, the link is the first link in the description. I know it's a pain in the arse having to do it this way, but like, what else can I do when it's been blocked, you know? At least I can still get the video to you guys, so I guess that's the most important thing. As I was editing this video, the copyright was released because I disputed it last night because, you know, it was wrongfully claimed. So the reaction is back up and viewable. It's visible for everybody. So it's on my channel. I'll link it below, I guess, but it's here on my channel. So just go check that out. And yeah, finally, something going right. But yeah, let's have a little chat, a little bit of a discussion about the show. I'll say the same thing that I said last week, right? I like the way we're being kind of softly introduced to our main cast. There's a lot of new characters, there's a lot of new stories, so it is a lot to take in. But I do like that we're kind of focusing on one per episode, like one kind of main character per episode. We're kind of delving into their backstory a little bit. I like that. I like that you get time to get to know them, I guess. And that is important with new characters. But yeah, I liked this episode. Again, I felt like the pacing was grand. I didn't feel like it was drawn out. Last week there was a lot of comments on why these kids can't kill walkers, and it frustrated a lot of viewers. I get that, I do, especially when you've been watching The Walking Dead and you've been watching Fear the Walking Dead all along, and outside of that you have regular zombie shows and movies too. It's like they can't even kill a walker, and I get that, but that is kind of a selling point of the show. The whole point of the show is you have these kids that have been like super sheltered. They haven't really been outside their community. They've been babied and like minded their whole life. This is their first real outing, I guess, into the big bad world. So yeah, they're gonna be a bit hesitant. They're gonna be a little bit spooked every time they see a walker, and I get it. It is frustrating, but that's the whole point of the show, that they're these young kids that don't really know shit about shit. So I get that criticism, but at the same time I understand why it's necessary. And I saw a lot of people comparing these kids to Judith, and it's like, that's not fair to anyone, because one, Judith is a fucking little tank. She's a tank of a woman. Look at who she was raised by. Look at where she was raised. She has a completely different life to these kids. So in a way, I'm like, yeah, like if Judith can be that badass at that age, why can't these kids? But it's different circumstances and different communities. So yeah, I like Silas. I kind of have liked Silas since the beginning, since he was brought in. I feel like he is that kind of typical misunderstood, very quiet, very shy kind of person, which I'm like, bitch, I relate to you. I don't seem quiet and shy, but I am. I'm kind of more reserved around most people. But yeah, I like him. I like that we did get a little bit of insight into his character. I like that we're seeing strengths outside of the norm. You know, so like when, I think it was Elton said it to him when he was like, we're gonna have to like kill them, are you ready, or whatever, about walkers. And Silas straight up was like, nah, I'll carry the bags though. I do like that. I think it's cool to find different strengths. Like, he hasn't worked his way up to walker killing yet, and I'm like, honey, you gotta learn though, you know that, right? But at the same time, kind of exploring your options and being like, I could be the bag carrier, or I could be the weapons dude. It's cool to see that. That being said, the group can't baby him forever. They're going to have to make him kill a walker. And I'm guessing that's going to be like his personal journey. It's going to be a big lead up to him going fucking nuts and killing a bunch of walkers. His backstory was kind of confusing a little bit, because to me, it looked like he completely lashed out and beat the fuck out of someone in his little backstory flashes. So it's kind of like Silas now I'm talking about. So it's kind of like, okay, did he beat the fuck out of his uncle? Was it another family member? Was there abuse going on there? I didn't quite catch it, but it seems like there did come a breaking point for him, and I just realised the lighting is not bright enough and I look like I'm sitting in a cave. Fun. That's kind of better, but now I just look so pale. Anyway. Obviously, one of the big selling points of... Oh, that light is so bright right now. Obviously, one of the biggest selling points of this episode is the fact that Hope and Iris, they sat down, they had their heart-to-heart by the river, where she was all, I'll kill the pregnant woman. And then Iris was all, that's okay. I feel like that had to come out at some point. I'm kind of confused as to why it took this long. How the fuck did she live with that her whole life without telling her sister? It's a bit strange, but I'm glad that it is finally out in the open. But the risk now is Elton going to find out? And when he does, because he probably will, There will be conflict. There's gonna be stress. There's gonna be angst, which I feel like we're getting a lot of that already. There's a lot of teen angst going on, and I'm like, I don't remember ever being that edgy as a teen. Maybe it's because you just don't see it when you're in it. I can't, for the life of me, remember her name, but you're one Mrs. Super Nanny McPhee. You're one that was like eating soup and shit at the end of the episode. Wow. Okay, so I liked that little small insight that we got to her character. First of all, yeah, she's ruthless and she'll just shut you the fuck up if she doesn't like you, which I'm like, okay. But you did get to see her have that moment where there was like that single tear, that single little tear of regret, and you could see it in her face, like, okay, so you do have feelings, okay. She's one of these like, oh God, I hate to do it, but I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place. So I guess we are going to see more of that kind of humanity come out in her. And the fact as well that she sent the kids away before all the shit hit the fan, it does kind of lend to her character too. It doesn't change the fact I think she's still an evil bitch, but hey, that's just me. So yeah, all in all, I thought again it was a good episode. It was nicely done and presented, and I don't really have all that much to complain about with it. Obviously it feels to me like it moves a little bit slower than the other two shows, than The Walking Dead and Fear. It is very different, but kind of similar. But yeah, I'm liking it. I think it's interesting, and I've had people kind of comment saying that I have been going easy on it, and it's like, trust me, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't bother my arse watching it, you know? Obviously it could improve in places, but for a new show starting out, I feel like it's fairly solid. The cast are fun, the storyline's interesting. I'm interested in this English lady who I still can't remember her name. Quite like Felix too. I think Felix is a gorgeous little human, and I'm just like, yeah, I want to see more of that storyline play out, especially because Felix said that there was a boyfriend and the boyfriend just disappeared. Well, I don't think disappeared is the right word. Iris and Hope's dad fucked off with him. Am I right in saying that? I feel like the two characters that I'm most drawn to at the moment is probably Felix and Iris. But yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. As always, the links to my Instagram and my Twitter is down below. If you want to keep up with me, those are the best places to do it. Twitter more so than Instagram. But yeah, I will update regarding copyright and stuff over there. Everyone's having the same problems, and it's fucking ridiculous, and there's nothing really being done about it, and it's like, well, that's not cool. The link to my Twitter, Instagram, everything is there, along with my Patreon, where I do reactions to a whole bunch of other shows with no issues. There's never any fucking issues over there, and it's spectacular, and people wonder why people are moving away from YouTube these days. But yeah, this month over on Patreon, I've started up reactions to American Horror Story, Riverdale, Haunting of Hill House. What the fuck is the name of that show? And also Good Omens. I'll be starting up reactions for The Mandalorian once it comes back at the end of the month. And next week as well, because it's Halloween, there's going to be a movie week where it's all your typical big horrors, and some kind of lesser known ones too. There'll be reactions for them going up every day over on Patreon. They stay over there, they're not coming to YouTube because YouTube is just a clusterfuck. So yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.